Hey, what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds, and I am inside a property that I'm project managing. We're turning this property from a little 3-bed house that we bought for £43,000 to a nice, beautiful HMO, add value, refinance. And it sounds so easy, you know, when I say BRRR, buy, refurbish, refinance, rent. That word refurbish, like refurbish. It's such an easy thing to say, but to do, it can be a little bit of a nightmare. So I thought I'd share behind the scenes some of the problems and some of the hardships that you have to face as a project manager or as a developer or investor. Now this project isn't mine, I don't own this, I'm project managing it, I sourced it on to an investor. And you know when you say, let's knock it back to brick. You know when you hear investors say, oh, it needs knocking back to brick. What that means is literally knocking back to brick. So that means that you take everything out, strip the wallpaper, strip the carpets, and that's what we did at first. You saw it on YouTube. We stripped it all out. We got a skip. We put all the ugly old carpets, the wallpaper, the bathroom. Where I'm standing right now, this was a bathroom. This was a bathroom. It had a little kitchen, little bathroom, and we just opened it up. Why? Because we want to add as much value as we can. And we thought, actually, if we can put some en-suites upstairs, turn it into a HMO and have a big kitchen, it's going to be a much more attractive house. The kitchen is one of the most important rooms in the house. So we knocked it back to brick, and as you can see, we literally did knock it back to brick. We needed another skip again to get rid of all the junk, because now we've got so much. Look at this, all this junk that needs going back to the skip. A lot of wood, a lot of bricks. Now when you knock something back to brick, you've got two options, okay? You can either, and you're going to enjoy this right now, because you know when you walk into a new house and it's beautiful and you can see the walls and it's like, how did the walls get so nice and clean, and how did that happen? Well, when you knock something back to brick, you've got two options. You can either, I actually used to be a plasterer back in the day. I used to plaster houses, so I worked on a building site, so I'm not doing this work myself. Okay, it's very early in the morning, right now it's 7 AM, and the plasterers are going to be coming soon. I have not got builder's hands. Now I make my money by negotiating deals, by making calls, and I oversee builders. But you've got two options. You can either base coat it, which is a type of plaster, which is like a thick brown plaster. You'll base coat it, you'll put it on, and then once you've base coated it, you're then going to skim it, which is another type of plaster, which you get that really nice finish, that nice shiny glass. It's not actually glass, but it looks almost like glass. So that's how you can do it. That's the old school way of doing it. The easier way to do it is to just put plasterboard over it. So what we're doing with this house is we're knocking it back to brick, pretty much, not every room. We're plasterboarding it, and then we're going to skim over the plasterboard. I tell you what, I don't miss plastering. I much prefer doing what I do now. So this room, kitchen. Now again, there have been problems. There have been delays. There have been setbacks. I mean, one of the things that we found, and you never know what problems you're going to have, exactly. You should always have a contingency in place. But when we lifted up the carpets and the floorboards, the bricks under the house, okay? So these bricks under the house were so soggy and moist. There was mold growing on them. It was really, really, really not good. And the builder said to me, he said, look, we could just ignore it and try and put the joists on, but really we should probably change the bricks. I said, what would happen? Best case, worst case, like guys. What would happen if we leave it? He said, if we leave it, to be honest, we're going to struggle to even put the joists on. These are the joists. These hold the floorboards up. He said, we're going to struggle to even put the joists in. They're not sticking to the bricks. He said, the problem is, if we do it and we leave it and we leave these wet, moldy bricks under the house, down the line, the bricks could spread. And he said, and the floorboards could fall in. And the thing is, listen, this house, my investor wants to keep this house. He's not doing it up to sell it. He wants to keep it. So the last thing I want is in 6 months' time there to be problems because the job's not being done properly. Need to do a job properly. So we literally got rid of the bricks. You can see these bricks. So these are new bricks that we replaced with the old soggy bricks. So now the joists have been put in, floorboards ready to go back on. And this is a problem that we didn't anticipate. And this takes time. You know, doing things like this takes time. Getting bricks, moldy bricks removed, and it's hard work. I couldn't do it. This room one, again, plaster. This is plaster. You mix this, put it in a bucket, put water in it, mix it with a drill, and then you can skim it. And at the moment, plaster's hard to get. during the pandemic, while everyone was buying lots of toilet paper, smart builders were buying lots of plaster. So this is all ready now to have plasterboard on and to be skimmed, which will be visually a big deal. So, where the real work's taking place is this part of the house. Because this part of the house, look, you can see, back to brick. These bricks are okay. We're gonna put plasterboard over everything. Before plasterboard goes over everything though, when I saw this, when the joiners were doing it, I was thinking, is there really enough space for 3 en-suites? Let me show you the layout of what we're going with. So this room was a double room. Now it's like a small double room. Come in, nice open entrance space. You've got a walk-in, built-in, not a walk-in, a built-in wardrobe, which saves space, which is really good. Bed's probably going to go down here. You might get a 1.5 times size bed, so a small double. Nice mirror, beautiful room, perfect. Ensuite is going to be here. Now, the only thing is that I was thinking, before the plasterers put all the plasterboard and start skimming and making this absolutely set, I want to get the plumber out just to confirm, because to me this feels on the small side. You know, to get a shower, a sink, a toilet. The joiners have confirmed that this is the size of a compact ensuite, but it just feels so small. I just want to get a plumber out just to confirm, because you know I don't want to finish the work and then find out actually. The problem is as well, if we go much more out, if we come out much more, it's just going to reduce the size of the room, and because it's a HMO, the rooms have to be a certain amount of square footage. This is all stuff that needs to be overseen. Also through here, same story. These en-suites are the same size. It just seems like on the small side, but the idea is this will be an off-suite. Now an off-suite is an en-suite, but it's where it's not just on the bedroom. So it's off the bedroom. So this will be the en-suite or the off-suite of the front bedroom, and then this will be the off-suite of the downstairs bedroom. And again, it's not tiny. This one's actually a little bigger. Boiler's going to be moved downstairs. They're a little small, so I just need to make sure that everyone's all working together. The plasterers, the joiners, everything's all happening right.
So I don't think that's going to work. I think that's really, really rubbish if you do it that way. I think that
I thought that exact.
I think that each bedroom should have their own ensuite, because how rubbish is it having to leave your room just to go have a shower in there or use the toilet? It's just So it might be a bit more work, maybe cost a bit more. But you definitely will be able to have an ensuite in each of the bedrooms, and have three nice big bedrooms with the ensuites. I was
so disappointed when I saw the sizes of those ensuites.
Yeah, big crap. And then the rent for the room as well, you get that much more anyway. So, I mean, the builder could either get the drains to go out if he puts the plumbing in, or just get Saniflow systems put into each bedroom for the bathrooms.
Yeah.
That's
it just
way
means
better.
We need to take down all the woodwork that the joiners have put up.
Right.
But I think you're right.
I think the tenants will love that more than that setup. That's rubbish.
They're just going to be too small. So, we're in conversations about the possibility of bringing en-suites forward.
I know, bud.
Hey, nice to meet you. But Dave, I'm genuinely a bit worried. The en-suite's up there. It ain't going to work. Push it all to the back of the house.
So actually sit down the work, everything out, and try and get everything. So
usually it's possible.
we're not. So
so
we don't have to come back for any alterations.
Yeah.
I'm one of these that I like everything right if I can first.
Because I wasn't sure what Dave was planning. I just said to Dave, you know, you need to get the en-suites in the front.
Yeah.
This is too big. I have had so many conversations back and forth with the plumbers, the project manager, the builder on this property, and you know what? When I was looking at the en-suites last week, I was just thinking, these en-suites are too small. I mean, maybe technically, legally, they're okay, but they're going to really struggle to rent. And it was paining me to have massive rooms at the front of the house with no en-suite, where they had to walk through to a tiny off-suite where they were all crammed into one corner of the house. I just hated it. So I was thinking about it, I was talking to my wife, I was talking to my brother, brainstorming, and my wife said, she goes, Samuel, why don't you just put Saniflow toilets in? I was like, no, I don't want to put Saniflows in. By the way, Saniflow toilet, they're built differently, but ever since I was 17 and I worked on a builder site, I was always told by the builders, don't put sandy flows in because they're a pain. They make that noise when you flush them for a few seconds after. So I always didn't want to go for sandy flows. So initially when we took on this project, I was like, I don't want sandy flows. However, after investigating, now 12 years later, this is why it's important to keep up to date with common knowledge. 12 years later, they have much better sandy flows than they used to have. So they have expensive sandy flows that don't make the noise and are much, much better. So we've switched the plan, and now we're going to put sandy flow toilets in, which means we can have proper sized en-suites, which I'm over the moon about. It's been confirmed by the plumbers, it's been confirmed by all the team. So this has honestly changed everything. I'm so happy right now because before this was a massive room, but imagine if you were a tenant living in this room and you needed to go to the toilet in the middle of the night. You'd have to get changed and go upstairs. But now you can just slip into your massive ensuite rather than getting changed to go up to your tiny off-suite. So this room is going to be way more rentable. Value is going to be pushed up. I'm happy. Let's go upstairs and I'll show you the changes. This room here, exact same story. So this room, big bed, lots and lots of space. Now, humongous ensuite. Again, same story. It's going to be shower here, big shower, toilet here. Is going to be a sandy flow toilet with a hand basin, big in its own room. Instead of this renting now for 350, this will probably rent out now for more like closer to 400. That's what I've been advised by the letting agent. They were saying before, oh, with a little tiny off-suite, you might be getting 350 best case. Now, it will rent all day long for more like 375 to 400. And then, this is the great thing, okay? Because we haven't got to cram 3 toilets in this space, because it's just one ensuite, not only is it humongous, but because it's not shared, this corridor this corridor is no longer a corridor. This corridor is now part of the room, which means that all this is a big room. We've got here, we've got wardrobe space, big room, humongous ensuite. This ensuite is so big, it'll be big enough to have a proper bath in here and everything. So the floor plan has been changed. Now, you know what, it's so easy when you are a busy property investor to just leave the floor plans to the team and just go, oh yeah, whatever you think is best, you're the professionals. But I think it's really important as a property investor to actually be saying, let me look at the floor plans. How can we creatively rejig these floor plans? You know, what's acceptable? If I was gonna live here, what would I want? And you want to be talking to your letting agent, you want to be talking to the estate agents, to the valuers, to the plumbers, all of the team, using your common sense in the middle of your power team and making the right call. So that's what we're doing. I'm really happy. This project is taking a little bit longer than I'd like, to be honest. And I think there's lots of different reasons for that. I mean, there's so many annoying little things that have happened. Yesterday we found there was a cat under the floorboards. So it's like, oh, what are we going to do? The cat might die. So we had to find the cat, open up the floorboards, take it out. There's also been some problems with the electrics. So the electrics have, we were going to just fix the electrics, but it was costing more and more money. We were finding more and more problems. There was things that we were finding, like these old connectors, which are just absolutely, this is not cool. This is not cool. So we decided that we're just going to rewire the entire house, which is going to mean that once we have finished the property, it's complete, we won't need to do anything for the electrics for 5 years. We'll have the certificate, it will all have been rewired, because you only need something small to happen. Like, I mean, if you look over here, I mean, these connectors, these little electric connectors, I mean, these are old style. They're old style. A little bit of water going on that, and it's going to be money. And I'm thinking, I want this to be done. I want it to be done nice. I want it to rent well, and I want it to be, you know, as little trouble with the property afterwards as possible. One of the great things about when you do a buy, refurbish, refinance property, and you refurbish it to a really high new standard, is it's like it's brand new. And brand new houses have much less problems than old houses. So you really want to fix as much as possible within reason. So lots to think about when doing a refurb like this. If you enjoy this video, if you enjoy my channel, I'm always going to be sharing not only the good, but also the warts and all, the bad, the ugly, and journeying with you and documenting everything so that you can learn the lessons as I learn them as well. So do me a massive favour, if you enjoy my content, smash like. Also subscribe to the channel. You can subscribe right below. You can see many future videos. In fact, if you want to see how this started, you can watch the video up right here. If you also want to see how we developed 6 houses from scratch, you can watch the video right up here. And don't forget to subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time. Peace.